Good morning, everyone. My name is Beatrice Abrami, and I am a PhD student of the Metallurgy Group in the University of Brescia. The present work regards the high temperature wear behavior of Scalm alloy, an innovative aluminium-magnesium alloy reinforced with scandium and zirconium, manufactured via laser powder bed fusion. Laser powder bed fusion is an additive manufacturing process used mostly to produce metallic components. During the process, the laser is used to melt a powder bed only in selected locations, as can be seen in the images on the left. Then, manufacturing takes place by adding material layer by layer. Aluminum alloys are some of the most common materials manufactured through this process, in particular the aluminum silicon ones, whose property can be seen in the table on the right. However, in the last years, some studies have focused also on Scalm alloy, an aluminium-magnesium alloy which exhibits higher specific properties, making it of great interest for high-performance applications. What provides Scalm alloy outstanding properties is its microstructure. Micrographs of the cross-section obtained after chemical etching can be seen on the left. In particular, melt pools and the overlap of successive layers can be identified, which are the peculiar solidification structures of the process. Moreover, a stable fine-grained structure can be detected for Scalm alloy, together with particles containing scandium and zirconium and forming inside the aluminium matrix. These precipitates contribute to improve mechanical properties and provide low anisotropy. To date, there are no studies dealing with Scalm alloy wear behavior at high temperature. Therefore, in this work, the Scalm alloy wear behavior in temperature was investigated by performing pin-on-disc tests, with the aim of allowing evaluation of new possible applications, as for example, pistons in the automotive field. To do this, samples were manufactured starting from Scalm alloy powder via laser powder bed fusion process, with the parameters reported in the central box and the shape reported on the right. Samples were annealed at 325 Celsius degrees for 4 hours. Then, pin-on-disc tests were carried out at 4 different temperatures: room temperature, 100, 150 and 200 Celsius degrees. Every test was stopped at 100 meters and concluded after 500 meters of sliding distance. Coefficient of friction was determined and wear rate was calculated both for 100 meters and 500 meters of sliding distance. Microhardness was evaluated to monitor microstructure evolution after temperature maintaining. SEM analyses were performed to identify the damage mechanism. Results will be now presented. Coefficient of friction plotted as function of the distance for every temperature investigated is reported in the previous slide. The higher COF value at the very beginning of the curve is due to the presence of great asperities. Then, after a decrease, a COF steady value is reached for every temperature, at longer distances as temperature increases. Moreover, the steady value gets higher with temperature, going approximately from 0.6 to 0.9. However, a stabilization is detected after 150 Celsius degrees. Changes in this curve reflect what is happening microscopically regarding the wear mechanism, and it will be analyzed later through SEM images. Wear rate was calculated for every temperature, both after 100 meters and 500 meters of sliding distance, following the formula above, starting from profilometric measurements that allowed the worn volume determination. Results are reported in the graph. For each temperature, wear rate is higher in the first 100 meters because of greater material removal, as can be seen from the blue histograms. Moreover, a greater standard deviation can be noted in these cases, due to larger variation of the track width in the initial part of the test. A linear increase with temperature can be observed after 100 meters, as a result of the greater material removal promoted by high temperatures. By observing the orange histograms corresponding to 500 meters of sliding distance, it emerges that there are no significant changes as temperature increases. This means that the wear rate is stable with temperature when the steady condition is achieved at 500 meters. In order to understand wear rate changes, microhardness was evaluated after pin-on-disc tests. In fact, microhardness test allows the identification of possible microstructural variation after the 6–7 hours of high temperature maintaining during the pin-on-disc tests. As a result, a great stability of microhardness can be observed as the testing temperature increases, as can be seen in the plot. This fact reveals scalm alloy precipitate stabilities also at high temperature. Now, let's see what happens at the scalm alloy disc through SEM investigations. The next two slides report analysis after the first 100 meters. Temperature is indicated on the left, and images are shown at increasing magnification moving on the right. The formation of the oxide occurs at every temperature. In particular, at room temperature, it appears more granular, with also the presence of oxide particles, which reveals greater oxide instability. Instead, at higher temperature, the oxide manifests itself as more compact scales or layers, as can be seen from the images below and in the following slide. In these cases, oxide lamination and fracture with particles formation can be detected, together with the underlying scalm alloy substrate in the areas where the oxide has already been removed, as for example in the images above on the right and in the central one below. Finally, the following two slides show SEM analysis after 500 meters at the end of the test. At room temperature, oxide crack form, promoting the oxide layer fracture and the oxide particle formation, as can be seen from the images above. With temperature increasing, the aluminum oxide previously detected for 100 meter cases turns into aluminum oxide mixed with iron, which derives from the counterpart. This can be seen from the spectra reported. As can be observed, the iron percentage increases as temperature increases. Even after 500 meters, oxide form and fractures, as can be better seen in the central and right images. Therefore, as summarized in this slide, triboxidative wear mechanism is observed after 100 meters for every temperature and also at room temperature after 500 meters. This damage mechanism involves the continuous oxide formation and fracture. For the 500 meters conditions, at high temperatures, also the adhesive wear mechanism takes place, as revealed from the iron presence. So, from this study focused on the high temperature wear behavior of scalm alloy, it emerged that first, coefficient of friction steady value increases with temperature as a result of the appearance of adhesion as wear mechanism, occurring more severely with increasing temperature, as confirmed in SEM analysis. After 500 meters, wear rate reaches an almost equal value for every temperature investigated, revealing no temperature effects on wear rate under steady-state conditions. Finally, scalm alloy microstructure is stable with temperature. Therefore, variation in wear behavior are the results of different wear phenomena promoted by high temperatures, rather than microstructural variations. In conclusion, it is therefore possible to state that scalm alloy is suitable for wear application in temperature. Thank you for the attention.